Hello and welcome to the ASC Weekly number 7 Diamond Division. We are in the finals. This is game number 3, as you can see from my nifty overlay here. SavioRCraft, I keep making that mistake. SavioRCraft. It's just SavioRCraft, who is the Terran up here actually, is up 2-0 over Spiralfall, his opponent. And he is spawning at the 12 o'clock position here on Lost Temple. And his opponent, close ground positions, is Spiralfall, the Protoss, putting up a good fight, getting quite far ahead in that last game, but just not able to eke it out. Fortunately, did not go tier 3 tech, which I think probably hindered him and actually lost him that game. But regardless, I am simpatico for the ASC Weekly.
I am Zeltsum for the ASC Weekly. Close ground positions, not gross ground positions.
Those are so gross.
Close ground positions here in Lost Temple. I'm not sure who this favors. Spiralfall does tend to be more of an economic player, so this might favor SavioRCraft a little bit more since he does tend to get those 3 racks up quite quickly before expanding.
Yeah, I think the first game we saw him do a 1 racks fast expand, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was on Xel'Naga. But aside from that, he tends to get those 3 racks up, get a lot of units out before he expands, which is what I've heard Tasteless refer to as like a very ladder build, because it's pretty safe against everything. You know, you're almost guaranteed that the game's going to go on, past the very early stages, because you're going to have a lot of units to be able to defend with. He is up 2 games, so he can afford to be a little bit more risky. But at the same time, why bother? Go with a build you're comfortable with, one that you'll push into the later games, which has really paid off for itself thus far in this tournament for him.
Definitely, and after the last game, Spiralfall, after having done so much damage with that push, destroying so many SCVs, and yes, mules can make up for some of that, but he was up by over 20 workers.
Yeah.
And you would need like 6 mules to make up for that. And having such a huge lead in that kind of game, and then having your opponent come back can actually be a pretty devastating blow to you psychologically. And it looks like he's rallying his gateway, so he's going to do a lot of early aggression, pure stalker aggression, it seems. We'll have to see how much damage that can do. It can do quite a bit against this low early marine count from SavioRCraft.
Yeah, getting those 2 racks out, this does look like it's going to be a 2 racks fast expand, which is a little bit risky on Lost Temple close positions. These positions are quite close, although units on the high ground and this this very small choke into the natural can be a little bit more defendable. The 2 bunkers here, as compared to like Xel'Naga, for example, which has a very, very wide open natural. So it's
picking off one of these early Marines is actually pretty huge. That was at the time of that Marine's death, he was 1/4 of SavioRCraft's army. That's kind of big because SavioRCraft is trying to expand, which means he needs to savior, no pun intended, savor all of his units as much as possible, and just try and really babysit each one individually. Each individual individual unit is incredibly important. It's 1 a.m.
No food, no sleep makes Zeltsum and Simpatico tired and angry. So, all right. So he's getting that command center in his main again. I hope this time he chooses to lift it off a lot earlier than he did in that first game.
Yeah.
Because that was so detrimental to that first game. So detrimental. I mean, he still pulled out the win, but. Either way, he'd be even further ahead if he had floated that natural over instead of using it for SCVs. So are going to be seeing a pretty heavy economic build from both these players. Natural being picked up by Spiralfall now as well. So expanding a little bit later. So I don't think he's going to be able to put on a whole lot of aggression. So even although he's probably just going to poke out now, just to kind of put Savior on the back foot a little bit, show that he's not afraid to fight a little bit, to duke it out. but he should not overcommit on this, and I don't think he will. Checking to see the expansion, does not see one. Gotta be, probably feels, that would actually kind of scare me a little bit.
Savior immediately
wow.
pulling SCVs. It looks like Spiralfall, Guardian Shield up. He started to push in, lost a couple Zealots for basically no reason. And force filling the ramp, but he's gonna lose that
loses the sentry. Ouch.
As Protoss, you really want to keep.
No, he's not floating his command center over. Savior, there you go. Okay, now he's floating it over. Sorry, I probably interrupted you. I just that was I had to get that out.
I forgot what I was saying.
I apologize. I'm sorry. That's my fault. I feel terrible. Do you remember yet?
Oh, I wanted to say that as Protoss, you want to keep your sentries alive as long as possible because you want to get like 4 or 5 sentries in PvT. Sometimes more, maybe 6-ish, depending on your build. But once you have those 4 to 6 sentries, whatever you're getting, you want to keep them alive for the whole game because they cost 100 gas, and of course energy replenishes. And having to rebuild sentries, because a lot of times without those sentries, you'll just die to a lot of pushes. And if you have to rebuild those sentries, then you delay your tech by a lot.
Robo Facility now coming out from Spiralfall, and as usual, we do have that starport going to be switched over with the reactor from this factory, and we'll see if he starts blind countering Colossus again, which has, like we've said in the past, has served him quite well. Spiralfall has shown that he likes Colossus, and unfortunately, in the last game, if he had gone High Templar, he probably would have taken that game. So hopefully he doesn't make the same mistake twice. And with these 2 bunkers, this is going to be nigh impenetrable if he brings up some SCVs. But no, he's not going to bring up any SCVs.
Brings him back a little bit. Brings him up a little bit late. Both bunkers fall. He's going to get a few hits off on this front line, but bunkers have just now gone down, and the Zealots are already dead. This one Zealot chasing this Reaper behind. Absolutely nothing happening. Lost almost nothing by comparison. Only Zealots out compared to SCVs, Marines, Marauders, and it looks like SavioRCraft is just going to do a counter push,
with
keeping his SCVs with that army. Going to buffer a lot of Zealot hits while those Marines do the bulk of the damage, bringing out probes to defend, but those Zealots are almost dead. Warping in a bunch of Stalkers to try and help fend this off, but it might just be too much. Putting up a bunch of stuff in the dropship, completely circumventing most of those Stalkers, gonna force those Stalkers into a bad position, gonna pick off this pylon, and that Robo Bay gets unpowered, that Immortal will not get out. SavioRCraft doing a 2-pronged attack now, distracting these Stalkers with the units on the high ground, destroying the probes with his other units in a nice surround there with the probes, but lost a lot of them in the process, and Spiralfall is gonna clean this up, but at what cost?
Yeah, he's well. That being said, the worker counter tab does take quite a while to update, so I don't know. But at this point, he is quite even. He just has no army. SavioRCraft's macro has been keeping up this entire time. He did sacrifice some of his own SCVs during that fight, but he's just killing so many units and losing so little of his own. There's no Colossus out yet. This first Immortal is out, and that is pretty much the only thing left to defend. And now the probe count is just falling so drastically. No sentries out to force field that ramp, and all we have is Zealots out for Spiralfall, and this is looking like the end of his run this tournament. It does look like SavioRCraft is going to sweep this finals 3-0. Probes being pulled off the line, and I think we're waiting for Spiralfall to just GG. He doesn't want to, this is a very difficult ending to a long night.
Yeah, this is quite good play by SavioRCraft. Spiralfall really needs to clean up his builds a little bit. It looks like there's a lot of indecision in most of his gameplay. SavioRcraft sending in even more units to just clean up what's left. Spiralfall does GG out, and that's the end of that game.
Congratulations to SavioRCraft. You are the winner of the ASC Weekly number 7 Diamond Division. Congratulations, awesome. He had a tough road to the finals there. A lot of games to play, so congratulations, Savior. Hope you watch these VODs. Awesome job, Spiralfall. Hope to see you next week. I know you've competed a few times now. Hopefully you're still having fun, and congratulations on making it to the finals. I mean, it was a sweep, but what can you do? Play a few games and come back next week and see how you do. So, VOD viewers, thank you very much for watching. Now that you've watched all the VODs, go over to ASCWeekly.com. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. The buttons are right there, or go to facebook.com/ASCWeekly and twitter.com/ASCWeekly. Get all the updates on what's going on. Of course, we stream every week. Bronze and silver on Tuesday, gold and platinum on Wednesday, and diamond on Thursday nights, always at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do have a Master Division coming out soon, some weekend stuff, so lots of stuff coming out from the ASC Weekly. Definitely want to tune in for all of it, and we will always do the lower leagues, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, and diamond. We'll never focus just on masters and higher, despite being able to start funding some of those prize pools to attract those bigger players. Speaking of prize pools, SavioRCraft does win $10 for his play tonight. So congratulations to SavioRCraft on winning the biggest ever ASC Weekly prize pool, which, don't knock it, it's double what it was last week. So we'll see what happens next week with your guys' support. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.